There comes a moment in your life when everything changes. Not because the world shifts, but because you do. This right here could be the most eye-opening 10 minutes of your life, but only if you listen with your heart. You've been lied to, not by enemies, not even by strangers, but by your own limiting beliefs. You were told you're not enough, that you're too late, that you're too broken, or too ordinary. But let me ask you, who told you that? And why did you believe them? You were never meant to live in fear. You were never meant to settle for a life that doesn't set your soul on fire. You were born to rise, to fight, to believe again. Don't you dare die with your dreams still buried inside you. Don't you dare grow old wishing you had tried. The world doesn't need another average soul. It needs you fully awake. I know pain. I know disappointment. I know the sting of failure. But I also know this: if you're still breathing, your story isn't over. You've got power in you. You've got purpose in you. You've got promise in you. Right now, make a decision. You don't need the approval of others to become who you were born to be. You don't need permission to chase what sets your spirit on fire. You've waited long enough. This is your time. Wake up, stand tall, and walk boldly into the life you were designed to live. From the moment we take our first steps in life, we're surrounded by voices, some loving, some critical, and some completely unaware of the damage they cause. Those voices begin to shape us, whispering what we can and cannot do, who we are and who we'll never become. And if we're not careful, we start to internalize those words as truth. You're not smart enough. You're too quiet. You'll never make it. They're just opinions, spoken in someone else's fear or ignorance, but they build invisible walls around us. We don't even realize we're caged because we've grown used to the bars. Those limiting beliefs are not facts. They're inherited lies. They come from pain passed down by people who couldn't see beyond their own limitations. Maybe it was a teacher who overlooked your potential, a parent who never believed in their own dreams, or friends who mocked your ambition. Their fear became your foundation. But listen closely. Just because they said it doesn't make it real. You have to wake up to the truth that the only person who defines your limits is you. What someone else believes about you has nothing to do with what's possible for your life. The most dangerous prison is the one you don't see because it's built in your mind. It tells you, stay safe. Don't risk. Don't dream too big. And you obey, not because it's true, but because it feels familiar. But you weren't created to live inside of someone else's expectations. You were made to break molds, rewrite stories, and shatter ceilings. And that starts with noticing the script you've been reciting in your head for years. Whose voice is that? Is it yours? Or someone else's fear talking through you? You've got to challenge the lies. You've got to stop repeating the story that says you're stuck, small, or not ready. You're more than the sum of your past mistakes. You're more than your income, your job title, your trauma, or your upbringing. Every belief that holds you back is a choice, and choices can be changed. You can unlearn doubt, unlearn fear, unlearn small thinking. You can replace those toxic thoughts with power, possibility, and purpose. And when you do, you don't just break free. You unlock the version of yourself the world has been waiting to see. There is a quiet force inside you, a force you may have ignored, doubted, or never even recognized. But it's there. It's not loud. It doesn't scream for attention. It waits patiently, silently, for the day you finally turn inward and acknowledge it. That power within you is your will, your resilience, your fire. It's the thing that pulled you through heartbreak, through pain, through moments you thought would break you. And yet here you are, still standing. That's not luck. That's power. So many people spend their lives looking for strength outside themselves. They chase validation from the world, applause from strangers, permission from society to believe they matter. But true power doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come from titles, trophies, or followers. It comes from knowing, deep down, that you were built to overcome. That what's inside you is greater than anything that could ever stand against you. When you embrace that, you stop waiting for someone to save you, and you become your own rescue. The world will try to convince you that you're ordinary, that you're just another face in the crowd. But you are anything but ordinary. You have ideas no one else has, dreams uniquely stitched into the fabric of your soul. You have survived things that would have crushed someone else. That's not weakness. That's evidence of the force inside you. Stop minimizing yourself because others are uncomfortable with your strength. Stop pretending to be less so others feel like more. You were never meant to play small. When you finally recognize your own power, everything changes. You speak differently. You walk into rooms with purpose. You look in the mirror and no longer see flaws. You see potential. You realize you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be willing to use what you've got. That means trusting your voice, trusting your vision, trusting that the same power that brought you this far is the same power that will take you further. And it's been there all along, waiting for you to say yes. There's a lie that whispers to people every single day. It's too late for you. Too late to start over. Too late to follow that dream. Too late to become the person you always knew you could be. That lie is a thief. It steals your hope, your courage, your desire to try again. But let me tell you something powerful. If you're still breathing, you're still becoming. As long as there's breath in your body, there is time. Time to shift your mindset. Time to rewrite your story. Time to rise from the ashes and walk into something new. We live in a world obsessed with deadlines. By 30 you should have this. By 40 you should be that. But who made those rules? Who said your best years are behind you? Some people discover their calling at 15, others at 50. The point isn't when you start. The point is that you do. Life is not a race, it's a journey. And some of the greatest transformations happen when people finally stop comparing their timeline to everyone else's and start listening to the urgency inside their soul. You have not missed your moment. It's still waiting on you. Change doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require permission. It only requires one decision. I'm not staying where I am. Maybe you've been stuck in a cycle of excuses. Maybe you've made mistakes, big ones. Maybe life knocked you down so hard, you started to believe you'd never get up. But here's the truth. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Your history is not your destiny. The version of you who made those choices didn't know what you know now. Growth means giving yourself the grace to evolve, to rise above who you were and fight for who you can still become. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step. No matter how far off course you feel, the path forward begins the moment you stop waiting and start moving. The same energy you've spent surviving can be redirected into building. You've wasted enough time doubting, delaying, and diminishing yourself. Now is the time to pivot, to rise, to become. Because change isn't tied to a date, it's tied to a decision. And that decision, it can happen today. Fear is a storyteller. And if you let it, it will write every chapter of your life with ink made of hesitation, anxiety, and regret. Fear doesn't show up as a monster. It disguises itself as logic, as caution, as being realistic. It convinces you to shrink when you should stretch, to delay when you should decide, to doubt when you should believe. And the worst part, it sounds just like your own voice. That's how fear works. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It sounds reasonable. It sounds protective. But it's a trap. A silent, comfortable trap. If you follow fear, it will lead you down a path of safe choices and small dreams. It'll point you to the job you hate, but feel secure in. It'll tell you to keep quiet when your heart wants to speak up. It will tell you to wait until you're ready, until you're more qualified, more confident, more accepted. But you'll wait your whole life that way. Fear never wants you to be ready. It wants you to stay frozen. And every time you obey it, you give it power. Not because it deserves it, but because you handed it the keys to your future. You have to make a decision. Will you let fear be your guide, or will you use it as fuel? Because fear can't stop you. It can only suggest, and you are not obligated to take its advice. Real courage doesn't mean you have no fear. It means you feel it and move anyway. The most powerful people you admire, the boldest souls you look up to, they didn't move without fear. They moved through it. Fear was in the passenger seat, but purpose was driving. And if you let purpose lead you, fear has no choice but to follow behind. Every great breakthrough you're dreaming of is hiding behind fear's shadow. The life you want, the one filled with passion, freedom, meaning, is not on the path of safety. It's on the path of risk, of growth, of saying yes before you know how. That's where your next level lies. And fear, it's just a checkpoint. It's not a wall, it's a door. But only the bold will open it. You don't need to feel fearless to take the step. You just need to stop letting fear make your choices for you. Because the moment you stop bowing to fear is the moment you start becoming. There comes a moment in every life where the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change. That moment is a doorway. It doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't come with applause or flashing lights. It often comes in silence, when you're alone with your thoughts, staring at the same ceiling, asking the same tired questions. Is this all there is? Can I really keep living like this? And then comes the answer, not from the outside, but from deep within. No more. That's the moment, the turning point. Everything changes the moment you decide. Decision is power, not wishful thinking, not hoping, not maybe. A real decision says, no matter what it takes, I'm moving forward. And when you decide, truly decide, you activate a force within you that no excuse can compete with. Most people don't lack potential. They lack commitment. They live in the gray zone of, I'll try, and we'll see, never realizing that indecision is the thief of destiny. Because until you decide, nothing happens. Life doesn't respond to hesitation. It responds to bold, relentless decisions backed by action. Some of you are one decision away from a completely different life. One decision to leave what's draining you. One decision to chase what sets your soul on fire. One decision to stop tolerating average and step into exceptional. But you keep waiting for the perfect time, for the right energy, for someone to tell you it's okay. And while you wait, life keeps moving. Time keeps ticking. And the pain keeps growing. You don't need more time. You need more urgency. Because the clock isn't waiting, and neither is your future. A real decision will cost you something. Comfort, familiarity, the approval of people who don't even believe in themselves. But it will also reward you with something priceless. Freedom, the freedom to be who you were always meant to be. You don't need all the answers to start. You just need a clear yes. A line drawn in the sand that says, "This is the day I stop settling. This is the day I start building." Your power is in your ability to decide. And once you do, the universe will meet you halfway. But only after you take that first step. You didn't show up on this earth by accident. You are not a mistake, and your life is not random. There is something unique inside you. A light, a brilliance, a spark that no one else on this planet possesses. And deep down, you know it. You've felt it in quiet moments. You've seen glimpses of it when you've allowed yourself to dream. But somewhere along the way, the world told you to dim it down, to fit in, to be realistic. And so, piece by piece, you began to hide the very thing that made you you. But here's the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. Your voice, your story, your vision, it all matters. And every time you shrink yourself to make others comfortable, you betray your own gift. Don't confuse humility with invisibility. Playing small doesn't serve anyone. Not you, not your family, not the people you're called to impact. There's someone out there, right now, waiting for your light to guide them out of their own darkness. But they can't find you if you're hiding. You don't need to be the loudest in the room to shine. You just need to be authentic. The real you, the one that's been silenced by fear, buried by doubt, and muffled by years of pretending, is powerful beyond measure. That version of you is unapologetic. That version of you walks into a room and shifts the energy, not by demanding attention, but by radiating truth. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to stop waiting for mission to be seen. There's a reason you felt that inner fire, that pull, that restlessness. It's not something to ignore. It's a divine reminder that you were created to make impact. Whether it's on a stage, in a classroom, in your home, or in someone's heart, your presence is needed. You were never meant to just exist. You were meant to illuminate, to lead, to inspire. Stop treating your light like it's optional. Stop acting like you're not ready. You were meant to shine, and the world is waiting on you to stop holding back and finally let it burn. So now the question isn't, can you? The question is, will you? Will you rise beyond the fear? Will you believe in your own power? Will you stop waiting for the perfect moment and create it? Because this moment, right now, is your invitation. This is the day you stop looking outside for answers and start listening to the calling within. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not the labels the world tried to give you. You are possibility wrapped in skin. You are purpose in motion. You are proof that even broken roads can lead to powerful destinations. And if nobody's told you this lately, you matter. Your life matters. Your dreams matter. So don't walk out of this moment the same. Don't just listen. Decide. Decide that you're done playing small. Decide that your story isn't over. Decide that starting today, you will think differently, walk differently, live differently. Not someday, not later, but now. Because this has been the most eye-opening 10 minutes of your life, if you choose to let it be.